Here lies Flanders, a narrow land between sea and river, yet rich enough to tempt every neighbor. Born as a march against the Northmen, divided between France and the Empire, it grew into one of the most prosperous countries of Europe. Its counts learned early that survival required more than arms. It required marriages, alliances, and a talent for playing kings against emperors. A dangerous game, but one they played exceedingly well. Flanders arose in 862 as a bulwark against the Northmen, a march on the edge of two worlds. West of the Scheldt lay the realm of the French king. East of it, the empire of the Germans. The counts of Flanders learned to balance these powers with the delicacy of a juggler, and occasionally with the ruthlessness of a butcher. From Baldwin Ironarm onward, the house he founded would endure for centuries, weaving itself into the politics of Europe like a persistent thread in a fraying tapestry. Here the long arc of the dynasty. From Arnulf II in the 10th century to Margaret II in the 13th, the House of Flanders passes through three great lines: the early Baldwins, the Robertians, and the Alsatians, before reuniting with Ino. This is the spine of our story. Details will come, but remember the rhythm: stability, conflict, renewal, and at last, inheritance through the daughters. Arnulf II restores order after a turbulent age, no small feat, given the century, but it is Baldwin IV and Baldwin V who truly shape the county. Baldwin IV, called the Bearded, expands eastward, strengthens the march, and marries with a strategist's eye. Ogive of Luxembourg, Eleanor of Normandy, each alliance ties Flanders to a different power. He is a builder, not merely of lands, but of networks. Baldwin V continues to work with even greater ambition. His marriage to Adele of France binds him to the Capetians. His daughter Matilda marries William of Normandy, becoming Queen of England. Through Baldwin V, Flanders becomes a hinge between France, England, and the Empire. His children scatter into every court worth mentioning, and a few that were not. These early counts lay the foundations: land, marriage, legitimacy, the holy trinity of medieval statecraft. Robert the Frisian seizes the county in 1071, founding a new line. His descendants are crusaders, diplomats, and occasionally martyrs. Robert II dies in the Holy Land. Baldwin VII dies young, and Charles the Good, pious, reforming, and altogether too virtuous for his own safety, is murdered in a church in 1127. A grim end, and most improper for Lent. We know much of this from Galbert of Bruges, who recorded every rumor as if the fate of Christendom hung upon it. The transfer of power after Charles's death is a spectacle of noble ambition. The burghers of Bruges favored William Clito, backed by the King of France. The knights and lesser nobility supported Thierry of Alsace. The great lords hesitated, weighing their purses. Flanders fractures along political and economic lines, and for a moment the county seems poised to tear itself apart. The Robertian line burns brightly, but briefly, and by 1127 it is extinguished. With the Robertians gone, the question becomes, who shall rule Flanders? The answer, as usual, depends on who shouts loudest and pays quickest. Thierry of Alsace is chosen by a coalition of Flemish nobility, especially the knights and castellans of the interior, men weary of French interference and suspicious of William Clito's ambitions. The burghers of Bruges resist, but the nobles of Ghent and Ypres and the inland Castellanese rally to Thierry, seeing in him a grandson of Robert I and a candidate who will defend their privileges. Thus begins the Alsatian line. Thierry and his son Philippe tie Flanders to the Holy Land, to Lorraine, to Brabant. Under Philip, the county reaches its height, wealthy, powerful, and feared. Yet Philip dies without heirs, and once again the succession turns towards Hainaut. Flanders never enjoys peace for long. Through Margaret I, the county passes to the house of Hainaut. Baldwin VIII and Baldwin IX rule both lands together, uniting two great principalities. Baldwin IX becomes Latin Emperor of Constantinople, a triumph that ends in disappearance and legend. His daughters, Joan and Margaret II, inherit a divided legacy: wealth, conflict, and the long shadow of the Crusader Emperor. And so the long line of the counts passes into the hands of Hainaut, uniting two great houses and setting the stage for the age of the heiresses. But to understand how Flanders became a prize worth such contention, we must look backward, to a battle fought a century earlier, when the county's fate hung on a single day. Let us return to the year 1071 and to the field of Cassel.